Hey guys, how's it going? TechSpecs here. It's been a hot minute, so I hope you're all doing well. Recently, Apple dropped a new upgraded pair of AirPods, AirPods 3, which I have here today and I've been using for the last week and a bit. So let's talk about them. Right off the bat, the first thing that is immediately visible is their fresh new design, which is much like the original AirPods combined with the more compact look of the AirPods Pro. The charging case is a little wider and is landscape oriented. It's not as wide as the Pros, but it is also not as wide as the original AirPods case, and it has newly added MagSafe compatibility, though it still works as normal with any Qi wireless charger too. But of course, the AirPods themselves are where the changes are really at. They have the same short stem with pinch controls as the Pros, but no silicone rubber tips, which for many people, including myself who doesn't like them at all, is an absolute win. This is obviously not going to be the same for everybody, but due to their hardhead design, they have a really comfortable fit in the ear, they don't stick out too much, they don't press too hard on your ear canal, and on top of that, they're extremely lightweight. You almost forget that they're in your ears half the time. They also have newly added IPX4 water resistance on both the buds and the case, which is a nice touch, and the fit is fairly secure in the ear, so they should be great for working out with. No need to worry about sweat or anything like that. The pinch controls are also a nice addition as they make it a lot easier to switch tracks, pause or bring up Siri. Much better than tapping the side and hoping for the best like on the previous generation. However, one key thing to remember is that unlike the AirPods Pros, the third generation AirPods do not support active noise cancellation, so they will let in surrounding noise depending on where you are. I've been wearing them in all sorts of places, on my commute to and from school that goes by lots of busy roads, around the house, in class when I've been studying, and yeah, it is kinda noticeable. But the thing is, personally, I really like that. As nice as being able to block out all the sound around you is, I'm not a fan of that pressure that you get from active noise cancellation in your ear canal, as it makes your head feel like it's stuffed with cotton wool or something and it just gives you a headache. And to be honest, when it comes to walking around with earphones in, I would like to be able to hear what's going on around me. If a car is about to run me over as I cross the street, or if someone's calling my name, I'd rather know about it, but of course that's just me. Another small thing to note is that as a result of there being a weak seal between the AirPods and your ear canal, sound does bleed a little from them when audio is turned up loud, but from what people have told me, it's not too perceptible, only when you have it on max volume, which I normally never do. So if active noise cancellation and a good audio seal are your thing, then I guess these aren't for you. But does sound quality make up for it? This year, Apple has actually made some decent improvements to the AirPods 3 in terms of what is inside. They say that they've added a newly designed dynamic driver, which helps to deliver detailed sound quality, especially in the bass department, which I will say is definitely noticeable. My music taste primarily consists of bass-heavy beats, and whilst they don't deliver them extremely low rumble-type sounds like other headphones, it's enough that they don't sound tinny or anything like that. And for AirPods, I would say that is decent, as they were never meant to be bass-heavy. That's what beats are for. AirPods have always been about getting a balanced, true-to-life sound profile, as you have to remember they are not only used for music, but also for watching videos and calling people with. A further thing that Apple has added to enhance audio quality is something called adaptive EQ, as there's no actual EQ settings for the AirPods. It uses inward-facing microphones to detect what you're hearing within your ear, and then adjust the low and mid-range frequencies to ensure that the details of whatever song is playing are fully brought out. Now, is this really noticeable? Well, not particularly. If you move the AirPods within your ear as music is playing, then you can sort of feel it adjusting, but I'm not sure if that's just a placebo effect, as it's very subtle. Okay, now in terms of microphone quality, you're hearing the AirPods 3 sound quality right now, and they should be great to use for calls and stuff like that. They have the same mesh above the microphone on the outside as the AirPods Pros to help reduce wind noise, and they also use a new AAC ELD codec that should make things sound a lot more crispier, but let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, as it'd be nice to know. Either way though, the sound quality of the AirPods 3 is a significant step up from the previous generation, so if a balanced sound is your thing, then you'll definitely be pleased with them. However, we can't talk about AirPods 3 without talking about spatial audio, which sounds like it's a gimmick, and admittedly does need a little more work to be perfect, but can legitimately change your experience of listening to music. Sometimes. On the AirPods 3 there are essentially three settings. Regular mode, which does normal stereo audio as you'd expect on other headphones. Fixed mode, which makes audio feel a lot more spread out than it really is. and then head tracking mode, which further positions sounds from whatever is playing into various places and then moves them depending on how your head moves to create the illusion of them being located in physical space. I've been using them mostly either in regular mode or fixed mode, but with Dolby Atmos optimized tracks on Apple Music, the head tracking is best described as really trippy but also really cool. Apple Music has an entire playlist full of tracks made specifically with spatial audio in mind, and wow, as I was listening to the songs, you really get immersed into the music, more so than ever. Hearing one instrument be on your left, and then the singer ahead of you, and then the bass either beneath you or above you, is simultaneously weird, scary, and incredible. Sometimes it even feels like you haven't got the AirPods connected, and the audio is coming out of the devices in front of you, a large speaker, or even from the surroundings themselves. For example, on the Spatial Audio playlist, there's this Cardi B song called Up, and it has a chorus that repeats up that happens above you. It's a really subtle touch, but this is the type of thing that just makes spatial audio so cool and adds a whole new dimension to a song. Of course though, as I said, it's far from perfect. Not every song or video supports Dolby Atmos, and with spatial audio mode enabled, some things don't sound too great. If anything, they sound worse. With certain songs, vocals can end up being too quiet as it's trying to make it seem more echoey, in turn leading to worse sound quality. I've also found that the regular stereo mode tends to be a little quieter than when spatial audio is enabled, regardless of with tracking on or not, so it's more of a thing that just depends on the song. I think that as more artists optimize their music for Dolby Atmos and spatial audio, it'll become a lot more of a viable option to use, but for now it's more of just a fun thing to try every now and then. I think that unless it's an optimized track or film, then you're better off sticking with just the standard regular mode, as it keeps more things sounding good and true to what they should actually sound like. Moving on, let's talk about battery. Other than the AirPods Max, the AirPods 3 actually have the longest battery life of the AirPods lineup, with 6 hours per charge and a total of 30 hours with the charging case at 100%. So that's around 5 whole cycles before you have to properly charge it with a lightning cable or with a wireless charger. I still wish that you could charge them on the back of the iPhone for a quick top up, now that both the phone and the charging case have MagSafe support, but of course we can only hope that feature comes one day in the future, as the iPhone doesn't have reverse wireless charging yet. But considering all that I mentioned, that leads me to the question, should you actually buy these earphones? As with all AirPods, there's more to this story than just the design, the sound quality, and the battery life. You have to remember all of the Apple ecosystem exclusives and convenience factor that you're getting too. From the instant pairing, Hey Siri support, messages being announced, cross-device syncing, Find My support, or audio sharing with another person's device, the AirPods 3 are a lot more than just regular earphones. However, the previous original style second generation of AirPods is now much cheaper at just £119 for people who just want the essential AirPods Apple ecosystem experience, whilst the AirPods Pros can be found now at a significant discount on places like Amazon at almost the exact same price as the new third generation AirPods, and depending on what you prefer, you can get some improvements like the rubber silicone tips and active noise cancellation, along with everything that the third generation offers, at the expense of some battery life, if that's a trade-off that you're willing to make. The AirPods 3 are now sort of like that middle child, the iPad Air of the lineup, so to speak, as this is right in between those that just want the minimum and the most. And this makes them perfect for people who don't quite want the features like active noise cancellation or the silicone tips that the AirPods Pro offer, but also want something that sounds decent with a modern design and of course is going to add to their Apple ecosystem. And if that sounds like you, then the AirPods 3 will not disappoint. And that's about it for this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe as we're nearly 1,000 subscribers and it would mean the world if we could reach that goal. Be absolutely incredible and I'd appreciate it a lot. This is TechSpecs here, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.